Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? This is a little too high. I'm going to just, 1 second. Yeah, I like that better. What's up, you guys? What's up, everybody? How we doing? Oh, wow. Something in my throat. Did not mean to do that. Whoopsies. I want that shirt. We're actually going to be releasing some of these. So, there's not much, but there's a few. And so the guy that's doing our shirts, he was like, hey, we have these extra ones if you want to sell them. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I'll let you guys know when they're available. I don't know yet. I have no idea. It should be soon, though, within the week. So you guys will know. Also, for those of you guys that did order merch, most of the stuff should be shipping either today or tomorrow. And so you guys will be getting your stuff soon, which makes me very, very, very excited. But yeah, so it's really good to be back. I haven't streamed in a couple days, and I definitely miss you guys. But it was definitely nice taking a little bit of time off, kind of relaxing, just chilling, doing my thing. I'm making 5X chocolate cookies. Good vibes to keep me from eating them. What is a 5X chocolate cookie? Is that like chocolate cookies? How do you get 5X? How do you even do that? Hi, John. Finally made it to Alive. We are happy to have you here. Christina, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you very much. Hi from Okie, California. Thanks, Omar. Thanks for being here. Okie. That's my mom used to call herself an Okie all the time because she was born and raised in Oklahoma. So that's what Okie reminds me of. Hi from Canada. Netherlands says hi. We got the world watching, baby. John's lives be lit. I have to give up caffeine for a class project, so I'm with you, John. Hey, we're getting more people on the zero caffeine train. No one that said I am quitting caffeine has ever been like super excited about it. It's more either I have to do it or, man, my anxiety is bad and I feel like this is something I should do. It's never like, man, I'm super looking forward to cutting out caffeine. It's like, frick, I have to cut out caffeine. Dang it. Oh, thank you so much for the 5. Is that rupees? I hope I'm saying that. I hope that's right. Is that right? Is it rupees? Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thice? T-H-A. I'm going to say your name wrong. I apologize, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm so bad with names, man. It's really embarrassing. Oakley, California. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I was like, Oakley? I've never heard of Oakley. I've heard of Oakley. The only caffeine I had was from soda and cut that out recently. That's awesome. So I will be honest. Like, I say that I cut out caffeine because for me, like, when I think of caffeine, like, I think of soda and, like, pre-workouts and, like, energy drinks and stuff like that. But I still drink coffee. But did I say soda? I didn't mean to say that. So I drink, I used to drink, like, a coffee every single morning and also a coffee usually later in the day, and then I would have pre-workout before my workouts. So I've cut out all of that stuff, but I still have like decaf coffee sometimes. Like today I haven't had any decaf coffee. And then sometimes I'll have like a diet soda. So there's like a little bit of caffeine in those. But yeah, for the most part I've cut out most caffeine, not all of the caffeine. I'm drinking decaf right now because it's only because it's 10 p.m. here. Well, yeah, that's probably a good call. I do coffee one time a day, but caffeine-free pre-workout. Yeah, that's what I've been doing is caffeine-free. So BPN, who is one of my sponsors, if you guys want to get anything at BPN, use my code, O2B10. But they make a pre-workout that's called Endopump, which it has pre-workout stuff in it, but it just doesn't have any of the caffeine in it. So I can take that before my workouts. And like for me, it's almost placebo. Like I like to have something to drink before my workout because I've just gotten so used to always kind of like having a pre-workout or something. So for me, it kind of helps with that, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense. I agree. Those V8 energies are addictive cans of heaven. I've never had those before. I just drink 1 cup of coffee, then water for the rest of the day. Coffee is life. Trust me, I understand. If I could have coffee and it didn't mess with my anxiety and stuff, I would be drinking a ton of coffee. Like, for sure. What is ridiculous? Oh, don't you worry. We'll be getting into that. We will be getting into that. Cleaning my crib while hearing you. Best day ever. Wow, you live in a crib and you have your own computer? That's crazy. I didn't know babies could use computers. No, I'm just kidding. Stupid joke. Black coffee team over here. Black coffee is hot bean water. Hot bean juice. I love coffee, but it tears up my stomach. Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of people. I'm so hooked on Pure Zero Rockstars. Probably need to cut it back. Has reducing coffee helped with your anxiety so far? Yeah, I'd say so. It's hard. It's hard for me to give a definitive answer because it's been so short, right? So it's not like with my anxiety, it's not like I would like constantly have like, you know, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, whatever you want to call it. It's not like it would happen all the time. So it has been about maybe close to 2 weeks now, and I don't think I haven't had like a panic attack or an anxiety attack, and I feel like my general anxiety has been down. So I explained this. We actually talked this a little bit on my podcast that's coming out tomorrow. But like normally I'm like this, right? Boom, 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 boom. Like happy, sad, like anxious, not blah, blah, blah. Like always up and down, up and down. But recently, since I cut out coffee, I feel like I've been a lot more kind of in the middle, just mellow, not super over the top. A lot of people have been like, dude, are you smoking? No, I don't smoke or do any drugs. But I just feel like because of like, I'm not like going super high and then crashing, like I'm much more level, if that makes any sense. So, and that is helping with my anxiety, I believe. Gabriella said, been struggling with motivation lately, stuck in the 220s after losing 60 pounds. What do you recommend when you're gaining and losing the same 10 pounds? That's a tough one. So, stuck in it after losing 60 pounds. Well, first off, I think it's important to be like, yo, I'm super stoked that I lost 60 pounds, right? Like that, you have to celebrate the wins. But usually like if there is something that's going down, like if there's usually a reason, and this is good and bad because it can be a hard pill to swallow, but there's usually a reason why we hit a plateau, right? And so usually that is either we maybe are underestimating the amount of calories that we're eating. So we're like, I'm only eating 2,000 calories. But then if you were to really kind of buckle down and track everything, you realize, oh, I was actually eating 2,500 calories or 2,400 calories, right? And so either it's that or you're overestimating how active you are. So you're like, no, I'm pretty active. Like I do a lot. But then you maybe look at your daily steps and you're like, okay, well, I'm actually only doing 3,000 steps a day. So usually it's about balancing that out. So either up your activity, which is usually what I would recommend, so you're not dipping down too low in calories, but find a way to up your activity. Not saying you have to go to the gym, but be like, okay, I've noticed that my daily steps are 7,000 steps a day. So I am going to up that to 10,000 steps a day because I think that will definitely help you, right? That will burn more calories. So little things like that. But, you know, just be proud of the fact that you did lose 60 pounds. That's awesome. Okay, whoa, I just lost this one. Okay, caffeine puts me to sleep, LOL. So it's the opposite for me, but I wanted to say I'm back down to 124 and had my first cheat meal, not day yesterday. Well, that's awesome, Morgan. Congratulations. And also thank you, Gabriella, for the super chats. You guys are dope. James would only do, yeah, James, I was talking about you. So my friend James, he messaged, like we were talking, we played a game together, and then we were kind of talking after we were done, and he was kind of giving me, like, he was saying like, hey man, it wasn't even him, honestly, I kind of probed it, but because he's been kind of at a plateau, and he's kind of talked about it in his YouTube videos and stuff, and I was just kind of like, okay, well, let me see if there's anything I can do. And I asked him, like, how many steps do you think you're getting a day? And then he kind of laughed. And I was like, what is it? And he was like, I don't know. It's really bad. And I was like, okay, so my recommendation for you is, like, I'm not saying you need to go to the gym and, like, crush it and, like, destroy your body, right? Because James is still a bigger dude. And I was like, just up your steps. Up your steps. Like if you like, so he found out that he was only taking 3,000 steps a day. So I told him, like, try and up it to 10,000. Not saying you need to go there right now, but make that a goal. Like, okay, my goal right now for, you know, the next month or in 3 months or whatever it is I want to be at 10,000 steps a day. And again, don't do that right away, but slowly get up there because you're going to be increasing your activity. Because think, even if you went to 6,000, you are literally doubling the activity that you have in a day, right? So there's little things like that. And then, yeah, so Sarah said, I think being honest with yourself, helps a great deal when hitting a plateau. So that's what I was saying is, like, you have to, like, really take a look at yourself, and, like, lying is only hurting you, right? If you're at a plateau and you're like, man, I can't get past this, but you notice that you're literally, like, if you're not being honest, like, you're not lying to anyone other than yourself. So that's a huge thing. Can we give you money via PayPal somehow? No, I don't think so. Like if you, you don't have to give me money at all, but if you want to leave like a super chat or, whenever the merch stuff goes up, that obviously helps a ton. How do you work out? It's 105 degrees and the gyms are closed. Well, luckily my gym is finally opened. But I usually would try and work out in the morning. And for me, like a workout could be a walk, like I've been talking about. So it's not always like a super intense thing. Is YouTube your full-time job? Why is your office in a gym? Yes, YouTube is my full-time job, or among other things, but like content creation online is my job. The reason that my office is in a gym is because my gym, I've been going here for like 4 years, maybe 5 years now. And this room, it used to be, I know this is, some of you guys are like, I don't care. But so this room, when this gym first opened, it was literally like a locker room. So there was like this wall in front of me. There was just like basically boxes, like those like IKEA things that have a bunch of boxes in it, right? But as you can see behind me, I've talked about this so many times, but all of that stuff behind me, that's a big window. So half of this room is literally full of windows and there's no AC. So it would get, like, I'm not exaggerating, up to 160, 170 degrees in this room when the sun would start coming through the windows. So as you can tell, this room never got used. Like it literally, after people realized like there's no way, it's way, way, way too hot in there, people literally just never used it. So it just sat empty for probably like 2 years. This whole room, literally nothing. No one used it at all. And so me and my brother were starting a podcast, and I was really lucky that our gym owners were really close with everyone, right? And they were like, hey, if you want to use that room, like you can use it. And at first they weren't even going to ask us to pay anything, but I was like, I'm not just going to use this room and not pay for it. So I pay a monthly fee to basically use this room. And so that's kind of why, that's why I have an office in my gym. Not my gym, the gym that I go to. Harpy Eagle. I don't know exactly what type of money that is. If someone could let me know, if someone can tell me, let me know. But it says, just discovered your channel, been binge watching your videos all day. I started doing keto diet 6 weeks ago, lost 30 pounds so far, 70 go. Cool vids. Well, congratulations, man. I'm very proud of you. Keep up the good work. Crystal says, how do you feel about Premier shakes and protein bars as meal substitutions? It's a lot of it's about, I think a lot of that, it can absolutely be useful, but it's about why you're doing it, right? So if you're doing it and you're like, I just know I need something real quick and I'm going to eat this, that's fine. But if you feel like I need to have this as a meal replacement and I'm doing it because I think it's going to help me lose weight or I think it's going to help me XYZ, that's not the way to look about it. So I think it can be useful, but just understand why you're doing it, right? If you're doing it because, man, this is convenient, this helps me. I understand it's not a magic pill or bullet or shake that's going to make me extra shredded or lean or jacked or anything like that, but this might help me, then that's totally fine. But a lot of it's about what your intentions are going in, I think, personally. Wow, there's a lot of people in here, and we're just talking. This is crazy. You guys are dope. Man, the live streams have been getting crazy recently. It's so cool. John, what are your thoughts on body dysmorphia? Do you have any advice for us who still struggle with it? Well, I mean, thoughts. I think that it's really tough to deal with. Like it's like a legit hard thing, like for sure. I think one of the biggest things I think that helped me, right? And I understand this is going to be different for everyone. And I understand that my experience, especially because, so what helped me was time, right? So for me, when I first lost the weight, I definitely had that whole, I still see the fat guy in the mirror thing, right? I think everyone kind of has that. But after it's been years, right? I've had the weight off for over 6 years now, I think. So it's slowly just gotten better. So I think honestly, a lot of it is like patience and just like understanding that like it's not going to happen overnight, but then also like working on yourself during that time, right? Not thinking, because I think a lot of people that struggle with this stuff is like they start to feel like I am X, I'm this thing, right? I'm gross, I'm nasty, I'm blah, 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 bad thing. So why would I even try and do XYZ, right? Why would I even try and work on it? But instead just be like, it doesn't matter that maybe I don't see what other people see. I'm going to still try and be the best version of myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but that was something that really helped me. It was like, for me with like loose skin, right? I understand not a lot of people feel the same way that I do about loose skin, but like for me, it wasn't like, oh man, I have loose skin, so why would I even try? It was like, I understand I have loose skin, but that's not going to stop me from trying. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I'm working out and trying to accept myself to deal with body dysmorphia. Yeah, I think that like it's a tough one. And like that's why I'm saying I'm not sitting here trying to fix people's body dysmorphia, because Lord knows I'm not qualified to do that. But what I am saying is that you can eventually, I do think that you eventually can get over it. That might not be the right words to use, but I do think that it's not something that it will be stuck with you forever. I think there is a way to get past it, I guess, is a better way to explain that. I promise I'll explain what the title is, but I got caught up answering a bunch of questions. I'm sorry. We'll get to it, I promise. I just feel weird like starting a live stream and then being like, okay, let's talk about this topic real quick. Like, I don't know. I want to hang out with you guys a little bit before I jump into it. And then it gives people a chance to actually kind of come in, so they're not. Because one thing that I've seen people in this in the chat, like there'll be a bunch of people like, what's happening? And then people in the chat will reply and be like, you should have been here on time and you know what's happening. And I don't know. I just think that's funny. The saying that time heals all wounds does have some validity. I agree. Not so great weeks are bound to happen. I only lost 1 pound last week, but we need to keep in mind that's all part of the process. Don't give up. Yes, exactly. Also, did anyone reply? Tell me what ARS is. Can someone tell me? I don't know what that type of currency that is. I'm curious. Are you going to discuss why you abandoned the Fall Guys crew? No. I'm not. I didn't abandon it. I got a win. Argentina pesos. Okay. Thank you. I got a win, so obviously I was very excited about that. And then, like I said, I told you guys when I was playing, I was like, once I get this win, I'm gonna try and do other games when I'm streaming. So I've been playing. I tried to do Warzone. That didn't go very well. I think I will play some. Maybe we'll play some Fall Guys at the end of this stream. Because I really do like that game. Is genuinely one of my favorite games, if not my favorite. How do you deal with awkward compliments on your weight loss? I had family stuff, one-on-one person. Wait, okay. How do you deal with awkward compliments on your weight loss? Had family stuff on one person keeps saying things like, these chairs are small. Ellen, 2 of you will fit in these chairs and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. Like, I think sometimes people, like, that's something you'll notice is, like, people will think they're complimenting you, but you're just like, that doesn't, like, work for me. I don't know. Like, I remember something that was a little weird to me. I'm not sure if anyone else has experienced this, but something that was a little weird to me was, it was like once I lost the weight, people were more comfortable sharing how they actually felt about me when I was heavier. And like people would talk like the old version of who I was is somehow not connected to me now. And so I was just like, that's still me, right? Like from 3 years ago that you're saying you thought was like, no one would say that they thought it was gross, but they would like be more honest with me. And I was like, you could have been honest with me then. I just remember that was weird. It was never anything bad. No one would be like, man, I remember earlier you were so gross. Like no one said anything like that to me. But it was just like little things that I was just like, interesting. Harpy Evil, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah, if anyone else wants to join, go ahead and click that join button. That would be awesome. Yes, my grandpa always makes those awkward comments. Yeah, that's a pretty standard thing. Do you have a college degree, John? Just wondering. No, I do not. I got a degree in street smarts, baby. Got them street smarts. Do you think Oxy Shred actually helps with weight loss? No, do not waste your money on that. Oh, Josh is here now. The stream can start. That's great. Perfect. So glad. Were you scared to fall into other extremes of eating habits? Yeah, I mean, I did. So I've talked about this a lot. Like I dealt with hey, thanks, Kelly. Thank you so much for joining. I dealt with like binge eating and stuff like that because I went too far the opposite way. And so that absolutely happened. Like it's a pretty, I don't want to say it's a normal thing because I don't want people to feel like it's going to happen for them, but it does happen relatively frequently. I don't want to say frequently, but relatively frequently. Because you got to think like people that were my size, right? I didn't have a healthy relationship with food. And so to fix that, I overcompensated and I feel like I went too far the other extreme. So that's why I preach so much about balance, about being in the middle. You don't have to be on this side. You don't have to be on that side. Like, be in the middle, be in the middle, be in the middle. It's very important to me. Yeah. Do you have any advice for starting a weight loss channel? I mean, you just gotta do it. Just do it. Balance, Danielson. Yeah, that's exactly right. Is it considered binge eating if you have just one cheat meal where you eat a crap? No. So, I mean, so this stuff is hard to answer because everyone has their own opinions on what binge eating is and what constitutes it and what's actually a binge. But like, if most of the time, if you are actually planning, like I'm going to have this cheat day or cheat meal, I would say that's probably not a binge. Like binges are, you might feel them coming on. Like I remember I would feel a binge coming on, but I didn't want it to happen, but I couldn't stop it. Like and for me, and then it was scary. Like you feel like you're no longer in control and you keep going. Like I would finish a thing, I was full, but without thinking, oh, well, I'm full, I'm feeling good, I would literally be walking to the kitchen grabbing more food. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than that. Like, I just felt like I wasn't in control. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, oh my gosh, man, I can't believe that. Like, it's a much different feeling than being like, man, I'm going to go to Olive Garden and just crush a bunch of breadsticks and some pasta. Like, that is a very different feeling than binging. Because binging a lot of times holds shame too. Like, more shame than, like, for me, a binge, like, I would never, ever, ever, and I never did, had a binge in public. Like, it's not like I went to Olive Garden and I was like, I'm going to go binge and, like, freaking go to Olive Garden and eat a bunch of food. If I ever did binge, it was in my room at night when everyone else at the house was asleep. Like, that's how it worked for me. It was shame, 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 right? Like, whatever, it was like Game of Thrones, like shame, shame. That's how it felt. And so it was very different than, oh, I'm just going to go overeat and with my friends and like, I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to be bad, right? Like, that's not what it was. It was like, I felt like a piece of garbage. And you shouldn't feel that way. But that's how I felt. Hey, Zach's here. What's up, Zach? Guilt is actually one of the requirements to get a binge eating disorder diagnosis. Well, there you go. That makes sense. Hey, man, sometimes I know what I'm talking about a little bit. Whew. Me and Zach yesterday, we were playing Borderlands 3, and I was like, dang, Zach, I was like, have we been playing for like 2 hours? Like, I feel like we've been playing for a while. And then Zach was like, we've been playing for over 4 hours. And I was like, oh my God, I need to go. Oh, man. That game's fun, man. Thank you for your answer. I personally feel like for me it changes between over and under eating, but I'm in therapy now, so so that'll come up sooner or later. Well, that's awesome. I hope that it works out for you. Can you stream Borderlands one time? I mean, I wouldn't mind trying it. I feel like that game, I don't know. I guess it's worth a shot. Why not? But every time I play, I want to make sure I'm playing, like, because me and Zach have been playing together. Like, it's like the whole thing with Borderlands is about playing with other people. And so I don't want to play a bunch without him and then be like a higher level because right now we're really close to each other. Any tips for dealing with anxiety? I mean, I'm not the person to, I'm not the person to give you advice. All I can say is right now for me, like I was talking about earlier, cutting out caffeine has been helpful. I'm not going to say it's the trick that's going to fix everything, but for me, I've noticed a change for sure. Would you like to get a college degree? If so, what major? No, I don't really have any. Kiki, aren't you a Kiki? I thought I made you a mod. Are you on a different thing right now? Interesting. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So would you get a college degree? If so, what would be the major? I think if I did get a college degree, I don't necessarily feel like I need one right now. Because what I do doesn't, I mean, I'm able to do what I do without it. I know some people are like, you need to get one, but for me, I think it would be something in nutrition, or maybe honestly just like go the opposite way in my first passion, which is drums. So do a music major or something like that, which is what I tried to when I first went to college. Did not go well. Your boy is not good in school at all. And so for me, it's, I don't know. I don't really necessarily feel like it's necessary. Hey, just wanted to say thanks, bro. Watching your channel helped me fix my diet and workout. After 4 years, I lost 317 pounds. Dang, dude, that's amazing. And now I'm at 217. Well, congratulations, Aaron. That is freaking amazing. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, you guys. So today, what I wanted to talk about, this was something that was sent to me on Instagram and on Discord, which again, if you haven't joined the Discord, it's going to be linked down in the description. It is the best Discord if you're trying to lose weight, get fit, want a cool community. I seriously recommend it. But what we're going to be talking about, and this is like genuinely, I'm blown away. So this was a post that was posted on Gymshark. Now, if you're not familiar with what Gymshark is, Gymshark is a oh, you know what? Let me do this. Okay. So what Gymshark does is, I mean, they're a huge company now, but they actually started not that long ago. But they make gym apparel. You guys know what Gymshark is. I'm sure you guys know. You've heard of Gymshark. Be a visionary, their whole thing. They always have like super, fit people, jacked, looking great, all, talk about fitness and all this stuff, okay? Now, Gymshark posted this picture right here, okay? And this obviously sparked, well, it's sad that it's obvious to me, but this apparently sparked a lot of outrage, especially in the comments. But I want to read over what this post says. So the post says right here, it says, because we are all both soft whilst also being incredibly strong, one side is not weaker, less valid, or less worthy. Both exist together perfectly. Beautiful words, beautiful body, beautiful soul, Nelly London. I've never heard of the girl. And I don't know much about her, but again, if we look at the post, right? I don't see anything crazy about that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I actually personally think that post is really cool because, again, if we go back and look at the rest of Gymshark stuff, it's mostly jacked people that look great, right? I guess there's actually another similar post right here. And I'm assuming there was probably a lot of, did they turn off the comments on this one? It looks like they might have. Oh, no, they're right here. But for the most part, it's like, really fit-looking individuals, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that either. But the fact that they're showing that you can be fit while also not looking like a model or not looking like, Adonis, I think that is a really cool thing, right? Something that, this is, and I know that most of you guys that are probably watching this or are here in the stream would assume that I would have this point of view because, again, like this girl right here, right? I don't know her story. I don't know how she got to where she is right now. I don't know anything about her. So for me, I don't know if she was who knows? Maybe she was 200 pounds overweight and then she lost a lot of weight and that's what her body looks like, right? Who knows? And I don't think that that's actually the case. But even if it's not, Like the fact that there are comments in here of people that are like genuinely body shaming this girl, it's just so sad. Like, it is so sad. Like, okay, so let's look at these comments, okay? So these comments right here. So the top comment says, "This ain't it," okay? This ain't it. Which I'm like, what is wrong with this picture? It's not like they're showing someone that is really, really, really overweight, eating chips and like not caring at all about their body, but for somehow they're wearing Gymshark leggings. Like, that's not what they're showing at all. But people are super, super upset. Like, look at this one. Oh my gosh, man. Confidence won't unclog your arteries. Are you kidding? Look at this girl. Like, this stuff, oh man. This stuff is what makes, like, when people say, oh, fit shaming is the same as fat shaming, it makes people look stupid, man. Like, the cognitive dissonance, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but like, to think that someone that looks like this girl has a bunch of clogged arteries because she's not shredded to the bone is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And like, when people talk about diet culture, and you guys know that I get upset about those words or whatever, like this people being like, that's you're gonna have a ton of clogged arteries because you don't look unbelievably shredded is absolutely ridiculous to me. So let's keep going. Okay, so let's read this one. It's a shame when a fitness page feels the need to be inclusive. Oh, whoops, I didn't show you. Again, it's a shame when a fitness page feels the need to be inclusive. Imagine the start of your critique being like, it's a shame you want to include more people. How dare you want to include others? Like, that's what they're mad about. Jeez, man. Okay, so let's keep reading. It's a shame that a fitness page feels the need to be inclusive. She definitely won't be winning any physique shows anytime soon. I miss the old school fitness Arnold Schwarzenegger era was dope, not this unfollow. This comment has 262 likes. There are 262 people that read that comment and were like, yeah. Yep, that's it. Agree. She's not going to win any physique shows anytime soon. Guess what? Neither are you probably, dude. Neither are you. So should you never be on Gymshark either? Like, this is insane to me that people are seriously this mad about this girl who, it's not like like I said earlier, there's nothing wrong with how she looks. But people are genuinely mad. And someone made a comment saying she's not going to win any physique shows anytime soon. Like, dude, guess what? She probably doesn't care. Guess what? Not everyone is trying to win physique shows. Guess what? Look who's not also going to win a physique show. Dude, I did a physique show and I got last place. Does it mean that I don't want to chase fitness? Does it mean that I don't want to better myself? Does it mean that I should just give up? Does it mean that no company ever that talks about fitness will ever post about me? No, it doesn't. But if that's what you think, and you think that you have to be this perfect body, like, why not be like, that's awesome that you're giving other people a chance to be on this platform? Like, oh man, this stuff is, there was one comment that I saw that I was like, I really want to read this one. So, guys, it's not normal to have to fight back this unhealthy trend. We have to fight back this. That's a very normal body. That is a very normal body. And then someone saying ick with freaking throw up emoji. Jeez, man. All right, so I'm trying to find. There was one. I mean, this is utterly disgusting and she should be shamed. Are you kidding me? How is that disgusting? Like, that's not disgusting at all. That is a normal body. Oh my gosh, it's insane. Okay, here we go. This is the comment that I was looking for. I think this is it. So it says, SMH, it's beautiful. She is happy in her skin, as she should be. But where is the glorification for those who work their butt off in the gym every day and have the discipline to not put whatever they want into their bodies and stick to an ideal diet? Dude, are you kidding me? When almost every other post on Gymshark was people that were super shredded and were jacked and were most likely not natural, and you probably will never look like, and you should probably not look up to those people because you're probably never going to get there, right? Like, that's what most of those posts were. And so to be upset about that, but let's keep going. Let's keep going. Why can't the ones who have earned their bodies only be featured? Only be featured. This is a fitness attire page, right? I don't understand featuring someone who is not interested or serious about fitness. But like, how do we know that this girl isn't, one, interested or serious about fitness just because she doesn't look like the models that are normally on the page? Like, this type of thinking is why fat acceptance, it is why health at every size, it is why body positivity, all of these movements are gaining so much steam, because there are people out there, dummies to be exact, but there are people out there that see someone that has a normal body and is immediately jumps to, she's disgusting, she doesn't work hard, she needs to work harder on her diet, she's eating too much, she's doing this is what's wrong. And it's like, dude, you don't know a single thing about this person. And to sit there and say that they are disgusting, like, oh my gosh, man, I'm sorry, I'm getting heated, but like, this stuff is ridiculous. And then it says, I follow this page because I love seeing the fit, hardworking models. It motivates me to my core. Seeing this, however, I feel it really takes away from those who take fitness very seriously and incorporate it in their everyday life. Again, and this goes back to what I've said so many times about the other side with health at every size, or the other side of body positivity. Stop comparing yourself. Why are you comparing yourself to the other people that are on Gymshark? It doesn't make any sense. Why? I mean, just stop. Do your thing. Like, why do you feel like I saw other comments, and I guess this isn't the one, but I saw other comments of being like, man, imagine working super hard to get Gymshark to notice you only to see this. Like, dude, if the reason you are working out is so Gymshark notices you, hey, bro, maybe the wrong reason to be working out. Maybe other better reasons to work out. Maybe care about your health. Maybe do it because you want to be better. Maybe not do it because, maybe if I work out, Gymshark will notice me. And the reason I'm saying that is because I don't think that's why these people are actually working out, but it's giving them a reason to be critical of this post and be complete jerks, right? That is why I think they're saying it. I don't think the only reason they're working out is because they want Senpai Gymshark to notice them. And if that's why you're working out, I'm sorry, that's really sad. That's really sad. If the whole reason you're working out is so you can get sponsored by freaking Gymshark. Like, they're just a clothing company, bro. Just buy some clothes. Like, I don't understand how this post right here, how this post can make people say these terrible things. And then, and then it goes on. Again, not shaming her. Okay, dude. Not shaming her, but I don't agree with her being relevant. Dude, who even talks like that? I'm not shaming her, but I don't think she deserves a platform. Dude, what is wrong with you? Why do you care so much? Like, yeah, like this comment right here. Not shaming her, but she shouldn't exist. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you so mad? Why are you so mad about this? I don't get it. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, let's keep going. We need to finish this comment. This is really becoming a world where everyone receives a trophy having not earned it. Unfollowing. Heartbroken emoji. Peace emoji. Jesus, dude. A fitness page posting an unhealthy body. Nice. Like, oh my gosh, dude. This stuff is like, again, man, I have talked a lot about health at every size. And I've talked a lot about the fact that I think for the most part, you can't tell if someone is healthy or not by looking at their body, other than if we're talking about the extremes on both ends, right? Really, really big, really, really small. But like to sit here and say like a girl like this who has I would say that's a very normal body to be like they're unhealthy and they don't deserve to be here or deserve to be relevant is absolutely, it's just sad. Like it really is sad that people have, like I think, okay, I'm going to try and relax for a little bit. I think that it's great that people love fitness and they love working out and they love this stuff so much that it, invokes this like feeling in them. But if you have let it take you over so much to the point where you go on these pages and you're commenting this stuff because you're upset, like it really feels like a lot of the people that are leaving these comments are genuinely mad because they're not on Gymshark. Like that literally boils down to, I'm not on Gymshark, so I'm mad that this person is. Like that stuff is insane to me. Like I've had people comment on my pictures with my sponsors and stuff. I don't have very many, but they're like, wow, it's ridiculous that he's getting recognition because he was unhealthy and ate whatever he wanted for 20 years of his life, and now he's changed his life, and now he gets a sponsorship. But I've been working hard my whole life and I don't have any sponsors. Like it's like, dude, I don't do this stuff to get sponsorships. That's the point. Like I don't post the stuff that I post because I want sponsors to notice me. If that's why you're posting stuff, if that's why you're into fitness, is because you want sponsors to notice you, you're in it for the wrong reasons. It's just that simple. And trust me when I'm saying those sponsors that you're trying to impress will see right through you because they deal with thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are trying to get sponsored by Gymshark for no other reason than to be able to say I'm sponsored by Gymshark. Guess who cares? No one. No one cares. Sorry. I know that I was triggered in this, but I was reading the comments and I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I think that I'm like losing my voice. I think that this is really sad, and it's really sad to see, and it's kind of disgusting, and I hope that Gymshark keeps doing it. I'm not even a fan of Gymshark. Gonna be honest, I don't really care for them at all, actually. I don't really like them that much. Sorry, just saying it, being honest. But it doesn't mean that I don't think that this is a cool post. That's all I'm gonna say about that. All right, sorry guys. I just had to get through that. I knew if I tried to read comments when I was doing that, I would have got lost. Now I'm sweating. Oof. I heard Gymshark is trying to get you a sponsorship, though. No, they're not. You are sticking up for someone who is body shamed. I mean, the thing is like, I don't want it to seem like that's why I'm doing it. Like, I'm not trying to stick up for someone. It's more about the precedent. Like, I'm sure she can handle herself. But it's not like I'm going to swoop in and save the day here. I just want people to understand, like, I don't know. That stuff just really bothers me. To plagiarize Rachel Hollis, girl, stop apologizing. I try to keep control of my temper, but boy, am I annoyed. Yeah. Senpai Gymshark. So are we going to talk about John's use of Japanese is that honorifics? Senpai? Hey, man. It's pop culture now. I'm so out of it. I've never even heard of Gymshark. Yeah, they're I mean, it's just a clothing brand. It's a fitness clothing brand. That's literally all it is. That's all you need to know. They got big through YouTube sponsorships. They like sponsored like YouTubers back in the day, and that's kind of how they got popular, because they sponsored popular YouTubers, and then they would talk about them a lot. And they're like the first Instagram fitness brand, it seemed like. Yeah. What did Gymshark do for you not to like them? Nothing really. It's just like they, so before this, actually, this is actually, dude, can someone make that person stop? Thank you. So before this, they were always kind of like the cool kids club. And I was never, I felt like I was never invited into the fold because I wasn't a cool kid. And I've always kind of, and honestly, like the quality of the stuff I personally have never felt like was the best. But hey, if you like Gymshark, I'm not trying to sit here and say you shouldn't like Gymshark. Like, do your thing. But that's just it's my own personal stuff. That's why I didn't even want to talk about it. John, I'm so chill without caffeine. Also, John, Hulk smash. In Funny Earth Clothing Fitness, anybody else remember when everyone wore highlighter yellow reflective matching gear in like 2013? Yeah. Can fitness YouTube be clicky? Oh, yes. Very much so. Very much so. And I've never been in the fold. That's why I just hang out in my office and make videos yelling at my screen. It's not about quality more than image. It makes people feel like the cool kids, like you said. I feel like Gymshark consumers are more like her than fitness gurus they give sponsorships. Yeah, I would actually probably agree with that. That's a great point. I do, however, think Gymshark is trying to get more sales after years of promoting only perfection. I think that is a better critique than making fun of like that's a genuine critique, and I wouldn't even necessarily disagree with that. But there is a stark difference with saying that than going on a post of a person you don't know and then saying this person doesn't deserve to be here, or this person is gross, or this person is XYZ, right? That's different. Like to critique the company, totally fine with me. To be like, hey, it seems like you never posted about this stuff, but now you are, is completely different. Sorry, man, my throat. Is completely different than saying this girl's disgusting, ill, nasty, throw up emoji. Like, that's very different. I don't know. That's my own opinion. Maybe people would disagree with that, but I like Under Armour. Does that make me a snob? No, I like Under Armour a lot too. Under Armour, for me, I feel like they've done a good job of what I like about Under Armour is they haven't really tried to break into the whole like athleisure stuff. Like all of their stuff is about I recorded the whole Gymshark thing. It'll be up later today. But Gymshark Under Armour stuff is all about like performance. Like that's what all of their stuff is about. Like you don't see like Under Armour jeans or like Under Armour, like everything Under Armour makes. And I actually went to their summit. So I went to their headquarters earlier this year, in the beginning of the year. And I was there for a few days. It was amazing. But their whole thing is like everything we make is about making you better in the gym or with doing whatever fitness activity you're doing. And I like that. Like I personally think that that's really cool. And so I think that it's totally fine to like Under Armour. Plus, The Rock is my biggest man crush of the world. So I'd love to be, hanging out with The Rock at some point. How do you get those lights on your keyboard? So this is the Corsair RGB something or other. I forget what the name of it is, but it comes like this. It looks very cool, right? Ooh, so cool. I mean, I have been exercising and stuff. and stuff, and I would like to have workout clothes. We all have a journey. Yeah. Dwayne's attitude is the best. John lost his train of thought without thought talking about The Rock. Yeah. I mean, it happens like that. Me at John's keyboard for the whole stream. Wow. It looks really cool. It's funny because it actually looks cooler from the angle you guys see it at than what I see. Like, what I see looks okay, but like when I look in the stream, I'm like, whoa, you can like see the colors like going. I don't know. Sorry. The Rock body slammed COVID. I know, that was crazy that he hit him and his whole family. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. I'm sure you did. It was everywhere. They all tested positive for COVID. It's crazy, man. What are some of your like favorite fiction books? I remember you said you're trying to read a while back. I've never been too much of a fiction book reader. Normally when I read books, it's about like, at least now as an adult, it's about like utility. Like, what can I learn from this? Because I'm just being honest. I don't necessarily get much enjoyment out of reading. Like, it's a difficult thing for me to do. So if I'm going to do it, I want to feel like I'm actually learning something like about whatever. So yeah, if you like reading, go for it. I'm not saying you can't. Trust me. That's not what I'm saying. Thoughts on 75 Hard. Have you heard of it? Yeah, I've heard of it before. I've heard of it a lot. I actually get that question every time I do a Q&A. I don't know much about it other than it's like you do 2 workouts a day. You have to read 10 pages in a book, I think. I think there's like no cheat meals the whole time. And so, I mean, I think that it could be cool, but it's for the... It would only work for a certain amount of person, like if a gallon of water too. So if you're someone that is like, man, I don't really work out that much, I'm going to do 75 hard. That's probably not a good idea. Just being honest. Like, you might want to cut everything in half. Maybe 1 workout a day, read 5 pages, drink a half. You know what I mean? Like, because that is a lot of... That would be hard for me to do, and I've been working out for 6 years, 7 years. Like, that would be difficult. And so I think a lot of people want to try it out, but it's like really, really intense. Like, that's a lot of stuff. And the people that do it, I mean, I'm sure that they're really proud of themselves. But man, that's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. People overhype reading, like people should only read this or that. Let me tell you this, reading is reading, and any reading is good, from comic books to encyclopedias, whatever works. Have you read David Goggins' books? Yeah, so that's one of my favorite books. Can't Hurt Me. I've read almost 120 books this year so far. That's insane, man. That stuff blows my mind because, like, for me... to read like a 400-page, 300-page book, which isn't that much, right, compared to other books, it'll take me at least a month. Like, minimum, at least a month. And so when I hear people say, I can read 120 books, I'm like, how? How do you read that fast? Because I literally, like, I'll read 3 pages, and then I literally have to set the book down and, like, look around for a second because I'm like, I cannot continue just flipping through these pages. Like, I just can't do it. This is my degree. I promise you I know. I believe you. I don't think you're lying. LO, I can read 800 pages in 14 hours. Dude, that's insane. Audiobooks, man, it's the key. Oh, yeah. So I listened. I listened to the full audiobook of Health at Every Size, which is about 10 hours. I listened to it in 2 days, 2.5 days. So... like, I can listen to stuff. Like, I've talked about this before. Like, for me, I learned visually and, like, auditory. So, like, if I can hear, especially if I was able to watch, like, if they had a video, I probably would have even done better. But, like, I learned that way so much more than if someone says, read this thing and then tell me what it's about. It's just how I learn. Like, I've literally always been like that. Even when I was a kid, I was in special ed. And so we, like, worked on things. Like, they tried to get it to where, like, I could, like, listen to the like, the lectures and stuff. And, yeah, it's just how I've always learned my entire life. Man, my voice is, like, shot now since that rant I went on. 1 second. I'm dying. My Goodreads book goal each year is 50 books. That's good. I'm late. What's the topic? You'll find out. It'll be it's gonna be a video, so I'll post it in a little bit after the stream. Yeah, some are more I have read myself some are more I have to read it myself, and some more I need to listen. Doesn't make anyone better than the other. I want to go back to those days where I could get through 100 pages a day. Shoot, man. I couldn't even imagine that. Is the smoke making you thirstier? It's smoky in Colorado too, and I'm parched. I don't know. I think because I feel like because here right now it's so I'm not sure if you guys know this, but there's actually it's like I think it's up to 14,000 acre fire. That's really not very far from where I'm at. And so it's been really smoky here, and it's like we're getting to the point where like we're getting ash that's like dropping from the ground or dropping from the sky to the ground. And so I don't know if it's that or it's just been really dry. So it's been like 110 plus the past few days here. And so it's like obviously really hot but it's also really dry. And so I think that's part of it as well. So I think it's like a mixture of a lot of things. Will you have any more guests on the podcast in the future? Will I have any more guests? We just had a guest the last podcast that went up. But yes, of course. We always have guests on there. We usually try to do a guest and then not a guest and then a guest and then not a guest. That's kind of how we try to do it. No, I don't stream on Twitch. We just keep it all here on YouTube. It makes it easier for me. Read what you enjoy. If you read it slow, okay. If you read it as a graphic novel, okay. If you hate it and quit it, okay. Yeah, I've had a book that I've had a few books that I was like, I'm going to try and read this. And then I was like, yeah, this isn't going to happen. I'm going to set this one down now because your boy is confused. Okay, so I actually want to go into the Discord and I want to look at some of the reaction requests because I saw that there were some things in there and I think it'd be fun to watch a video together. Okay, so this was posted. I think this could be interesting. A little 2-part series. So this was posted on Discord.
I don't know if it's just because I can't look in the
Okay.
Whoa,
sorry, my bad.
I don't know if it's just because I can't look in the mirror, so I.
Okay. So this was also posted in my Discord. And the title. This is from the YouTuber Molly Burke. I've never heard of her before. And the title of this video is How I Gained 25 Pounds. So I'm just kind of curious to see what it is. And there's a video after this, which talks about how I lost weight or why I lost weight, how I lost the weight. So I'm kind of curious to see what it's about because people posted it and why not? Let's watch it.
I couldn't see my old skinny photos and then my curvy photos. I couldn't see that. Not gonna lie to you guys, I'm feeling cute.
Dude, I like that song. That was cool. Dun 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 dun. Reminds me of like the 50s or something like that. Swing music.
Today, I don't know if I look cute, but girl is feeling cute, and that's what
you're slaying, girl.
Matters. Confidence from within, my friends. Confidence from within, which is actually a great sentiment to start this video off on. Confidence from within, self-love and self-acceptance on every part of the journey. Because you see it in the title, today I am talking about my weight gain journey. Now the reason I wanted to do this video is because you see a lot of weight loss videos on YouTube, but you don't see a lot of people talk about how they got there, how they got to the place that they were at where they chose to want to actively lose the weight. And I think that's...
Am I tripping or is someone holding the camera? Because I keep looking at the edge and it's like moving a little bit. So is someone like holding the camera just like... Yep. I'm just gonna... Yeah, good stuff. I was like, maybe it's moving, right? Okay. I was like, am I tripping, or like I felt like the camera was moving?
That's a really, really important part of the journey. And I also think when we talk about weight gain, we often talk about it as a negative thing. But as you'll hear in my journey, to me, my weight gain didn't feel negative. And that's why I want to talk about it.
Oh, she's blind. Her mother records her videos. Well, I'm going to shut my mouth then. Okay, my bad.
I also do want to start this out with a trigger warning. If talking about weight gain, weight loss, weight, eating, food, health, any of that is triggering for you on your journey, please do not watch this video. I'm leaving it up to you to know your own limits and what makes you feel uncomfortable. So I'm putting it out there. This video is going to be about weight gain, and Tuesday's video is going to be about weight loss. So if either of those two topics trigger you, these two videos aren't for you. There's tons of other fun videos on my channel for you to check out. So just wanted to put it out there. All right. Also, yes, I am blonde. This would be shocking for you if you haven't seen my recent video. This one right here.
I'm kind of curious. That's an interesting. So, wow. Well, this video is now has become much more interesting to me, because like a lot of the time when you hear people talking about they've gained weight or whatever, it's like I looked this, right? I didn't like how I looked. I didn't look. And so I don't know if she's like, I don't know much about her. So I don't know if she's like literally can't see anything. But like, that's interesting. Like, so it must have been more about how she felt, which I know I'm putting words in her mouth. So I should probably just let her, talk. So I'll shut up now.
I got my hair done from the beautiful, wonderful Breeza, and she nailed this blonde. At least I'm being told she did. I can't see in the mirror, but everyone seems to tell me I look like a natural blonde. So thank you.
It looks great.
Honestly, like, I haven't thought about what I'm gonna say really at all. I've been meaning to make my weight gain journey video for probably at least 6 months. I've been talking about wanting to make this, but I haven't because honestly, I am scared. I am concerned to talk about this. I don't want to trigger anybody. I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but all I'm gonna do is
freaking welcome to my world. I just said the wrong thing in this live stream like a freaking dummy. Sometimes you just have to, it just happens. Frick, man. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean anything rude by it, and I apologize. I wasn't trying to. Okay, let's just
speak my authentic truth, and hopefully it resonates with some of you. So I guess where I should start is when it started. So I gained about 25 pounds in 3 years. From 23 to 26, I gained about 25 pounds. Now I'm 4'10" and a half, so I'm very petite. I'm very short. And so if you can think, 25 pounds on somebody who's 4'10" is kind of like 50 pounds on somebody who's 5'5".
That's so true. Like, that's legit. So many people, they just look at the overall number, but like it's all relative, right? Like she said, like if you're 4'10", that's really short. Like if you're 4'10" and you gain 25 pounds, I mean, she said, I don't need to repeat it, but that, yes, 100%.
Just because there's less space for the weight to distribute. Mm-hmm. So realistically, I went from a 00 to a size 4, which, is quite a jump in size. And yeah, so that was kind of like the weight gain time frame and the impact it had on my clothing size. I was always the same size. I was always a 00. If I would gain a little bit of weight, I was a 0. My whole life, I stayed between 85 pounds to 92 pounds. That was kind of my 7-pound weight fluctuation. When I was more close to 92 pounds, I would wear a 0. When I was closer to 85 pounds, I would wear a 00.
It's crazy, like, hearing, so I'm just going to be totally honest, like hearing those numbers, like under 90 pounds, I'm like, yikes, that's like, my first thought is that's too small. Like, that's just, I'm just being honest, right? That's where my brain goes. But again, it's like, okay, let's take into consideration, this is someone that is literally under 5 foot tall. Like, that, I don't know, man. It's just because like I weigh 212 pounds, like that's how much I weigh. And so I know that a lot of times my perception comes from as coming from someone that weighs that much, right? That can eat as much as I can, that can do as much as I can. And so again, like there's even people in the chat like that's too small. That's too small. It's like, again, dude, that's literally what I'm saying right now, is that you're coming from that from your view. I don't know how much you weigh. You might weigh 150 pounds. You might weigh 300 pounds. But like, again, it's all relative. That's what I'm saying. So let's hear more about what she says and find out like what she thinks, you know, like I think that's what's important.
85 pounds is technically underweight for my height. When you're 4'10", the current healthy weight
Well, there you go.
range for a 4'10" woman is 91 pounds to 119, and for 4'11" is 94 pounds to 123. So technically, yes, being around 85 pounds, I was considered underweight, but none of my doctors ever called it into attention, and nobody ever found it to be a problem. I think I had like one adult in my life one time tell me they thought I would look better if I gained a bit of weight, but I was never 85 pounds because I tried to be.
It's interesting, like even seeing in the comments here in this live stream, which you guys, hey, go off, do your thing, whatever. But it's funny because so many people, if someone is slightly underweight, are so quick to be like, "You're unhealthy. You're doing this bad. This is wrong. This is wrong. You need to fix this. You need to do this." But if someone's slightly overweight, we're just like, "Yeah, you're fine. Totally, you're good." You know. Again, none of those. I think we should just let people do their thing. But it's funny how, like, if someone is slightly underweight, you guys saw the comments of people freaking out, but you usually won't see that if someone is just slightly overweight.
When I was 14, I went blind and I became extremely depressed. And, you know, you hear a lot of people talk about emotional eaters, and I kind of joke and say I'm an emotional uneater. Like, it's like it just has the opposite effect on me when I'm anxious,
I mean, but that's true. That's something that a lot of people deal with, is like, I know for me, so when I get really bad anxiety, I'm not someone that stress eats. I do the opposite. I'm just like, I'm not hungry. I don't need to eat. I just want to be alone. I don't want to even think about that stuff. So that's something that happens. That's very normal.
When I'm stressed, when I'm overwhelmed, when I'm bored, I don't eat. I'm just not hungry. I'm not a bored eater. I'm not a stress eater. I'm not a sad eater. I never have been. That just seems to be a part of my body that kind of like shuts down.
And I know that me saying that might sound crazy because, again, I was almost 400 pounds. But for me, like, it wasn't like, I think bored, definitely I did that. But the other things, like, I didn't eat when I was like anxious. Like, I think there's a difference. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I'm not explaining it right. But like, for me, there's a difference between being like sad and like my feelings were hurt versus like anxiety, right? Like, anxiety literally would take over my whole body, and like, I didn't want to do literally anything. Like, I wanted to lay down, not even listen to music, literally lay down, do nothing. When I'm sad, I'm like, I want to eat and make myself feel better. But like, for anxiety, I don't know. I never felt like, oh, if I eat right now, I'll feel better. Like, I don't know. That didn't work for me.
So when I was 14 and I was depressed, I really, really struggled to eat. You know, it was something we had to work on a lot. So I would drink when I was in grade 8, like the Ensure drinks. I would have protein bars, water. I would try to have fruit smoothies, things that had protein, things that had nutrients that I could get into my body, because I really struggled to eat solid food. My stomach also, because of all of...
I wonder if... And I mean, I could be completely off base, but like, I wonder if the fact that, you know, you can't see, I don't know if she was, I'm not sure if she's been blind her whole life, but like, if you grow up blind your whole life, like, that's one sense that's gone, right? Being able to see the food, it's no longer there. Oh, since 14 years old. Okay, well then that's not going to be correct then. Never mind. I was just going to say, like, if you're not able to see the food, maybe it's less like appealing and you're just like, meh, you know? But she just said when she went blind at 14. Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry.
all of just the emotions and the hormones that I was dealing with at the time, I started having really bad IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome, which runs in my family. We have a lot of gluten sensitivity in my family. My mom had IBS her whole life. I was really sensitive to dairy growing up, so my body just wasn't really handling eating very well. So I started seeing a nutritionist when I was 14 years old. And at that point, we removed a lot from my diet. I removed sugars, refined sugars, I should say. We removed gluten. we removed dairy, and my health like bounced back to life. I could eat food again. I was feeling really good. I wasn't getting cramps.
Dude, IBS is no joke. Like imagine like literally being afraid to eat food. Because that's what happens, right? When it gets really bad, like you are now like literally afraid to eat because you're like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going to happen to me if I eat this? Like, am I going to feel terrible? Am I like, it really messes things up. Like, that is not something I would wish on anyone. Like it really, really can be difficult. No, is IBS when you're afraid to eat? No. But it can make you afraid to eat because of the stuff that it kind of makes happen in your body. Not fun things.
I wasn't getting stomach pains. I wasn't getting nausea. I was feeling a lot better.
Yeah, so Marcella says, at the height of my anxiety and IBS, I lost 20 pounds without trying because I didn't want to eat. I was scared. Yeah, that makes sense.
I wasn't eating things like dairy and gluten. I wasn't eating sugar. I was on a very clean, healthy, organic diet. And even though I was eating lots of food, I wasn't gaining weight. I was staying around that 85 to 92 pound weight range just because I was eating healthy. And then, you know, as I got older, you know, into my early 20s, usually honestly, like I was around 92 if I was mentally healthy, and I was around 85 if I was mentally unwell. So in my early 20s, I plummeted back down to more of the 85 pound weight range. That's how much I weighed when I got Gallup. I remember because he weighed 85 pounds and I weighed 85 pounds, and I thought it was really funny that we literally weighed the exact same amount. But at the time, I was on anxiety meds. I had PTSD, generalized anxiety with OCD tendencies, and again, like when my mental health goes, I can't eat. I really, really struggle, and I just basically I have to get in my calories through liquids and try to get as much nutrients into me as I can.
Oh man, that's like, that sounds so rough, and like something that I think a lot of us that come from the opposite side of the spectrum, or whatever you want to call it, we, like, a lot of people will be so quick to be like, man, must be nice. Like, I wish that was my problem. Like, because we see our issue as like, you know, gaining weight is our thing. Like, we just feel like, oh, we're always gaining weight. And so to hear someone talk about how it's hard for them to gain weight, or like they're losing weight and they don't want to, people almost get like, must be nice. I wish that was my problem. Like, it's not fun. Like, either end of the spectrum is not fun. Like, trying to mitigate problems on either end of the spectrum is not fun. And so just trust me, like, I can understand why you'd see that and be like, man, I wish I had that problem, but like, you don't. You really don't. Like, trust me. And I'm sure that the other people like that are dealing with, you know, under eating and stuff like that, they might see someone like you and say the same thing, right? Like, everyone has their own issues and stuff like that.
To maintain health, but when you're eating like that, you're not really gaining weight, of course. So none of it was ever because I wanted to be skinny. I was never concerned about my weight. Maybe I was never concerned about my weight because I always just maintained a very small weight, or very low weight, very small size. If anything, I was actually quite concerned about developing an eating disorder. I had a very good friend I still have a very good friend who has battled anorexia for 20 years now. And I have seen her be hospitalized many times.
Chris, that's a good comment right there. People can be pretty mean to underweight people too. I think like that's kind of that's the underlying thing that I was kind of trying to say, is people are more comfortable making fun of someone because they're underweight, right? Oh, you're a stick figure. You're so thin. You're like a whatever. You're like a stick. You like, oh, you blow away in the wind. Like, people think that that's okay to say to people because and this is something that, you know, as far as I'm sure people would maybe disagree with me, like, because it's become like so many people want to be skinny, right? Like, that's what they want. So a lot of people, which is kind of sad, is people feel like they'll do anything to be that skinny. So the fact that you're complaining about it, it's like, oh my gosh, get over it. It's the same thing when like people get upset with like celebrities that are like, I don't have any privacy. Like they're literally like paparazzi scoping through my window trying to take pictures of me as I'm changing, right? And then there's people like, oh, whatever, I wish I had that kind of money that you have. And it's like, dude, like just because someone's problems aren't the same as yours doesn't mean that they're not problems. And that's something that a lot of people, I think, it just doesn't connect.
Times I have seen her on her deathbed. I've seen the way her journey has revolved. Her life has revolved around recovery and relapse, and it's very hard to see. She's an incredible person, and I've always seen that, and being somebody who struggles with mental illness and knowing that eating disorders are a mental illness, I've always been concerned that because I don't eat when my mental illness is at its worst, that could slip into the slippery slope of becoming an eating disorder. But weight was never an issue for me in my mind. Control over food was never an issue for me in my mind. Like, I wanted to eat. Let me tell you, I would want to eat so bad, wouldn't I, Mom?
Yes.
I was always really upset that I could not eat, and I would try so hard. I'd be like, okay, I think right now maybe I could have like some French fries and chicken nuggets, like really simple
chicken nuggets. Yes.
foods, and my mom would like run out and get it for me if I felt like that was what I could eat at the time. Like we would really always try, but my weight just always maintained that size. And when I was 21, I went through a breakup. I was still living at home with my parents, and I continued to be around that 85, 86, 87 mark. I began getting really into fitness because I just had more time now that I was single for the first time in 2.5 years. And I was really into Pilates. I was really into yoga. I was working out multiple times a week. I was continuing to eat a gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free diet, very homemade foods because I was living with my parents. So, you know, I maintained that very fit, slim body. When I was 23, like I said, is when my weight gain really began. I think part of it is...
Man, this is really interesting to me. Like I'm sorry I'm not talking that much, but it's like I'm genuinely like interested in this video. Wow. Like it's really interesting hearing the other side, because I talk to so many people that are losing weight or that are trying to lose weight. Obviously I make a lot of videos about losing weight, and it's important to me and stuff like that, but it's really interesting to hear from the other side. And then on top of that, like being blind on top of that, I feel like that would add another layer that I just know that I just genuinely can't understand. Like I have no idea what that would be like. But this is really interesting to me.
Hitting my mid-20s. I'm not sure, maybe this isn't true, but from what I've heard from like other friends and stuff, and a little bit of the research that I've done, is like kind of when you're in your mid-20s, for women, that's often like when baby making time really ramps up and your hips start to expand a little bit again. It's almost like a second puberty, and you know, you're getting older, your metabolism starts to slow down a bit. So I think all of those things played a factor in it, like hitting my mid-20s and the weight gain beginning. But also at that time I moved to the US, and food is just different here. It's very different.
That's true. I don't know, is she from Canada or something? But yeah, ain't nothing like the US, baby.
The food in Canada. I know we're just across the border, but there is a lot more hidden stuff in food here. There's a lot more hidden sugars, there's a lot more hidden salts, there's a lot more hidden thickeners, fillers, and even though we tried to eat healthy, I mean, we still 2.5...
It's not hidden, all right? It's just free. Freedom. That's what we're all about. So we let all those additives be free, run free. We let all those sugars run free because we're about freedom here in the States, baby. That's what we care about. Everything is free. Even sugars and additives.
2.5 years in, haven't found good mayonnaise in the US. If anybody has recommendations, let us know. But yeah, I think that played a factor, moving to the US, just food being different. All new food brands, all new restaurants to try. You know, I was exploring new foods here. I was also traveling a lot and going to a lot of
Zach, not healthcare. Hey, you have to pay for your own healthcare, all right? Get out of here.
work parties where
You freeloader.
you're not eating normal things. You're eating little hors d'oeuvres, and it's open bars, so you're drinking a bit more alcohol, which is high in sugars and calories. Gallop is?
Yeah,
Gallop. We love you, Gallop. Lavender's on one side of me and Gallop's on the other.
There we go.
All the kids.
That's so cool that her mom is sitting here just like recording this video. I don't know. I think that's really awesome.
The other thing is, because I was feeling so much better digestive system wise, and I was feeling so much better emotionally, like honestly, and this is why I say to me my weight gain wasn't a negative. I was happy. I was really, really, really happy. Honestly, when I moved to LA, it's probably the first time in my life like I was truly happy in all aspects of my life. I was truly content with who I am, with my career, with my friendships, with my lifestyle, with where I live. Like, I felt when I moved from Canada, I left a lot of negativity behind. I love my country. I love my city, but I went through a lot of trauma there, and leaving that behind and starting fresh was really big for my mental health. So
I need to check it. Are there any dislikes on this video? All right, you guys, we need to go and find the 146 people that dislike this video and attack them. No, I'm just kidding.
So I started eating more. My appetite skyrocketed. I've never been somebody with a big appetite even when I was mentally healthy. I'm just a petite person, so my mom and I would always split meals if we were at a restaurant, or I would take half home for later. But all of a sudden I was able to eat like a whole meal to myself. I was always hungry. I was always craving things. I don't know if it was a hormone imbalance. I don't know what it was. Because I was feeling digestively healthy, I started eating a bit more gluten, a bit more dairy. I was traveling really, really, really heavily. So I was eating a lot at restaurants or being,
Well, and it sounds like, I don't know, this is complete, like, is conjecture the right word? I don't know. This is me just saying this, but, like, it seems like she said, like, she was happy, right? And, like, she was talking about before, she dealt with a lot of anxiety. She was, like, really, like, sad. And, like she said, she didn't like to eat when she was like that. So, like, imagine now you're happy most of the time. So maybe that will help you want to eat more, I don't know. This is really interesting to me. I'm not sitting here saying I have answers, but it's just fascinating.
Kind of forced to just eat whatever was available.
Also, shout out to all 1,100 people in here. You guys are dope. I love you guys. Hit that like button, though.
To me at airports, the amount of airplane food I have eaten in the last 2.5 years is absurd, which is definitely like not nutritionally balanced or that great for you, I'm sure. So, I think there's a lot of things that contributed to the weight gain, but I think ultimately, honestly, it was just like my happiness. And that's why my weight gain never bothered me. I never viewed it as a negative thing. I never viewed it as a bad thing. I don't know if it's just because I can't look in the mirror, so I couldn't see the before and after. I couldn't see my old skinny photos and then my curvy photos. I couldn't see that. So
yeah, I mean, dude, that's so interesting to me. Like, because that's such a huge part of, like, why gaining weight is so like hard for people, is because those before and afters, or like seeing that weight gain happen. And I'm not even just saying for people that are like gaining a ton of weight, but even people that are maybe even like, we talk a lot about, like, I've talked about like bikini competitors, or like even men's physique competitors. Like, you have this photo of you when you were at your most shredded, most like lean, to like shredded to the bone, and then you start to see pictures when you've gained weight and now you're healthy, right? Like, you were way too lean before, probably not healthy, but you've gained weight and you got to a healthy weight. But for people, because they can see that stark contrast of super lean, shredded, freaking like Adonis, and then, okay, now I've put on 25 pounds, but I'm actually much healthier. Like, that's a really big struggle for people. But like, imagine that happening, but you can't even see it. Like, how much of it is it really you seeing it happen? And that's why, like, you seeing those pictures. I don't know if I'm making sense, but like the visual, other than how you feel, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
It didn't bother me. Obviously, I could feel that I went from having a flat tummy with abs to having a pooch, and I went from a 00 to a 4. Like, I knew I had gained a lot of weight, but it just didn't bother me. The only time I would feel self-conscious is if other people commented on my weight gain, but I didn't really myself feel bad about it. And ultimately, I didn't choose to lose the weight because of aesthetics. For me, choosing to lose weight wasn't about how I looked to other people, wasn't about how I looked in a bikini, wasn't about how I looked in the mirror, of course. It was about health. And, you know, I was diagnosed with low protein S in my liver when I was 16. It's a blood clotting condition. I am more prone to blood clots than other people. And upon that diagnosis, I was 85 pounds at the time, or maybe 87. And he told me that I needed to try to stay as close to that weight as possible for the rest of my life. And just avoid anything that can trigger blood clots. So for me, that means I cannot take birth control pills. It means I can't smoke, which I never have anyway, so that's fine. I have to wear compression socks when I fly, things like that to avoid blood clots. And one of those things is just keeping my weight down. So ultimately for me, earlier this year, I made the decision to put more effort into it and try something a little more drastic and a little more strict to lose the weight, because, and my goal wasn't to lose all 25 pounds. It was mainly probably to lose like 15 pounds.
Wow. That's really interesting. Like, that's not what I don't even know what I was thinking, but I don't think I was thinking that. Man, this girl has been through a lot of stuff. Jeez, man.
And, you know, ultimately, my whole life I've been a little underweight to kind of the lowest end of my weight range. And now I was at the highest end of my weight range. So I was still within healthy range, but if I was continuing to gain, I was going to go into the overweight category, which for me with my blood clotting condition isn't healthy and is not okay. And that's ultimately why I was like, okay, I need to do something, because I was looking at the trajectory of my weight gain, and I was only continuing to gain. Nothing was slowing it down. It was continuing to just become a snowball effect, gaining, 4 pounds every couple months. And if I just continued to let myself do that, I was going to become overweight. And for my health, that wasn't something I wanted. So ultimately, that was why I made the decision, to try to lose the weight. And I know.
So this is really interesting now, because again, like, I've always said, like, for the most part, right, you can't tell someone's health by looking at them, right, for the most part. And this is a perfect example, because at her highest weight, she was she wasn't even overweight, right? She was still in a healthy weight range, but she was afraid because she had health conditions that, again, you couldn't see, but she was actually afraid of. And like, imagine if she just posted like a picture or something saying like, hey, I'm going to be losing weight because, I need to take control of my health. And like, people would freak out. But they don't know everything, right? And that's like, this is why I say, like, it's crazy to me when people genuinely get upset with others that are trying to lose weight. Like, you don't know. Like, you don't know. And like, there are people like, I can't believe you're trying to lose weight. You're at a healthy weight range, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, you don't know. Wow. Interesting.
Some of you will potentially say, like, you don't think I looked that big or anything like that. And I'm not saying I thought I was really big. Like I said, I was still in healthy weight range. I was just on the top end. But my weight gain was significant. It wasn't a small amount on especially on a short frame. And I think I know how to dress a pear-shaped body well. I know how to dress for my body to highlight what I want and to minimize what I want. So I think between that and the fact that most of my weight gain tends to be hips, thighs, and butt, I definitely did gain it chest, arms, face, back. I did gain it everywhere, but mostly the most significant gain is thighs, hips, and butt. It's where I've always gained weight. So if you mainly looked at my photos or videos that were kind of torso, you also probably wouldn't have noticed how significant it was. So there are a number of reasons why potentially, I don't know, maybe you didn't think I had a weight problem or had gained that much, but ultimately the scale doesn't lie. My clothing size doesn't lie. I had gained weight. And I wanted to get on top of it before it became unhealthy for me. As I said, it wasn't about the aesthetic, and that's why I ultimately wanted to make this video. To me, my weight gain wasn't a negative thing, but it would have become negative if I became overweight, and because it would have been unhealthy. And so that's why I ultimately kind of hit pause and tried to step back. I loved myself and I accepted myself and I felt whole and beautiful at every weight I've been at,
Oh, that's so important. And like, I agree 100%. Like, this is something I've said so many times. Like, I loved myself enough to change when I lost weight. And like, I know there's some people like, I hated myself, so that's why I lost weight. And like, everyone has their own thing. And I'm not saying you have to do it the way I did. But from my experience, if you're coming from a place of like self-love and like, I'm doing this because I love myself and I want to be around longer, or like there's things that I want to see, that I want to do. I think that's a lot better of a place to come from, other than I hate everything about myself right now, I need to change. Like, man, this is great.
So I hope that you can forgive yourself as well, wherever you're at on your weight journey, that you can forgive where you're at and love and accept it. And I think honestly, the only way to lose weight in a healthy manner is to be loving and accepting of where you're at in your journey. I think hating your body, hating yourself doesn't do any good, and only makes you...
Man, what the heck? Did you hear me? That was funny.
Hold on to weight more. So I encourage you to learn to love and accept where you're at in your weight journey and focus on health, not the aesthetics. And maybe because I can't see in the mirror, I have it a little easier that way. I don't know. But that's all I have to say for this video, because the weight loss portion of this is going to be on Tuesday. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you hear when that video comes out. Again, just like this video, it's a video I'm concerned to make because I ultimately know weight loss is different for everybody. What worked for me might not work for everybody, but so many of you have been asking for it. So I do want to share that with you. Yeah. That's all I have to say. If you want to see my healthy bleached hair care routine, how to keep your bleached or chemically treated hair healthy, click up here. And if you want to see, I don't know, some other Molly Burke video, then click up here.
All right, and then let's watch the other one.
I just wanted to let...
All right, so this is now how I lost weight, and this is obviously her talking about how she lost weight. Interesting. Let's see.
It happened naturally. I didn't want to put my mind or my body under pressure to lose a certain amount in a certain time frame. I just wanted to change my lifestyle. We're back. Okay, so if you were here on Saturday, you saw that I posted my weight gain journey, and today I'm back at it with my weight loss journey. Same thing as last video. Trigger warning, if talking about weight gain, weight loss, health, food...
John, you've got good rhythm. Well, I would hope so. I've been playing drums since I was in 10th grade. That's like over 10 years now.
Eating, calories, fitness, any of that, sizes, if any of that makes you uncomfortable, please click out of this video. I'm leaving it up to you to know your own limits and what makes you feel comfortable.
Right there. That's so important. And it's like something that so many people have missed now. I'm leaving it up to you to decide what your limits are. So if I'm sure there's probably not, but if there was a comment in this comment section of being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you talk about this, made me blah, blah, XYZ. It's like, dude, she said it herself. Just leave. It's not for you. Man, that's so important.
Plenty of other content on my channel you can check out. Like if you want like cute kitten stuff, you know, look at all the cute kitten videos, you know, that won't be triggering surely. So I've been hesitant to make these videos because I don't want to make people uncomfortable.
Do you think people would leave your videos if you did that? I think they come for the fight. No, I mean, they wouldn't. And so that's why I don't do it anymore. I used to try and do it, but more people got annoyed with me putting the trigger warning than actually it did anything for. So it's like, I don't know. For me, I feel like you can see what the title of my video is. You can see what I'm going to be talking about. If you think that's going to be triggering to you, just don't click on the video, you know?
Because I don't want to trigger people, but I keep getting asked about it, and I do think it's an important topic, and that is why I ultimately am making this video. So, if you have not seen my video from Saturday about my weight gain journey,
I think it's different since you're a weight loss channel. Yeah, I mean, you're probably correct too with that.
Then my weight loss journey won't really make sense. So I do recommend checking out that video before you come and watch this one. Where to begin? Yeah, so over the past few years, I have tried to lose weight a couple of times. You know, I got a personal trainer and I was only gaining muscle but not losing fat. So I was actually only getting bigger in terms of like circumference, in terms of measurements. I was actually getting larger because I was gaining the muscle but not losing the fat somehow. It wasn't converting. It was just kind of staying there too. And ultimately...
Well, it's funny that she said that. That's a common thing that a lot of people think. Like, people think that they can turn fat into muscle. It doesn't work like that. Fat is its own thing and muscle is its own thing. You can lose fat and build muscle, but you cannot turn fat into muscle. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that, but I know that there might be some people listening that think that you can turn fat into muscle. You cannot do that.
You know, I believe it's like 80 or 90% of weight loss is food related, I believe is what they say. That like to lose the weight, it's mostly food. And
Yup.
and the tone is the workout aspect. So I did also try to do, you know, different things over the years to see if anything would work, but nothing stuck, nothing worked, because like I said in my last video, I've been gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free for the most part for a very long time. So there was nothing I felt like I could like remove from my diet or drastically.
I'm interested to see kind of what she did, because yeah, a lot of those things, unless she was like drinking a lot of calories or something, like what she changed, because I mean her diet was technically, you know, quote unquote healthy and clean, so I'm kind of curious what she did end up changing.
Drastically change about my diet in order to lose weight. I was working with dietitians, nutritionists, naturopaths, and none of that stuff was sticking. None of it was resonating. None of it was feeling like it was working for me. So I would just give up. And ultimately, you know, when you want to lose weight, it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. I think diet culture is very toxic, but lifestyle changes are really healthy and important to be your best self. And
Yes.
that was ultimately what weight loss was for me. Like I said, it wasn't about the aesthetics. It wasn't about the number on the scale. It wasn't about the size of clothing that I wore. Wearing size 4 didn't bother me. I knew that in the grand scheme of life, I was still on the smaller end of the spectrum. And I'm not going to be talking about numbers in this video because I have not once stepped on a scale. I can't tell you in numbers how much weight I've lost because I have not stepped on a scale, which just tells you it really hasn't been about measurements or numbers or sizes of clothing for me. Because if it was about that, I would have been tracking all of it, but it's not about that for me. And for me personally, those things are toxic. Stepping on a scale and knowing numbers, that is toxic for me personally. For some people, it feels important. For me, it felt like that would become a slippery slope and become dangerous for me. So I chose to completely ignore. I can't even tell you what size clothes I wear right now because it's been quarantined for months and I've been mainly wearing leggings. So, you know, I can tell.
Same.
A lot of my clothes are looser, but I haven't really put like jeans on or anything that requires a size. I know I'm definitely not a size 4 anymore. Maybe say I'm a size 2, maybe a 0, but probably a 2. I really don't know because it just wasn't about that for me. And as usual, this is like a typical Molly Rambles video. I didn't prepare notes or a timeline or anything, so I'm sorry if you wanted something really professional. We're super casual over here on this channel. Yeah, so I tried all these different things.
Same.
And ultimately, I would go on work trips and it's like, ooh, somebody else is paying for my food. I'm eating at this restaurant, so sure, I'll get the dessert, even though I usually wouldn't. Sure, I'll get a cocktail, even though I usually wouldn't. All of these things that, you know, are high in calories, and because I was traveling so much, I was working out a lot less than ever before, so my body wasn't moving as much. Being blind, it's also just harder for me to, like, move my body as frequently and as much and as fast as sighted people do. So again, a lot of these things were contributing, and a lot of those things are what I looked at and said, I need to make a change somewhere in here. So part of that was changing my mindset as to work trips are work trips. Maybe I can have dessert one of the nights, but I'm not going to get cocktails or desserts or starters with every work meal I go out for. So
I think that's a good, that's something that I mean, I get messages about this all the time, like people that like travel for work and it's like, oh man, it's so hard. But like a lot of it is mindset, right? Like if you are in the mindset of, this isn't like some trip where I can do whatever. It's like I have to stick to my plan. I'm gonna do what I have to do. But like just because I'm away from home doesn't mean I need to like splurge. Like, yes, is it going to be a little bit more difficult? Of course, but you don't have to go all out just because you're not at home.
Just changing that and being like, you know, I'm just going to pay attention on the menu to what I'm ordering more. And then at home, I started using a food service. So this is not sponsored by any means. I've been paying for this for months. Late February is when I started this program. It's called Zen Foods. I'll link it in the description box below in case anybody is interested. It is LA based.
Girl, they better sponsor you after this video. I'm just saying, I'm gonna email them and say you better sponsor Molly, or else I'm never ordering from you again. I never have ordered from them, but I'm just saying I'll never will.
They don't ship outside of LA. because they actually make the food for you. So they fully cook the meals. Every single day, they deliver you a cooler with fully prepared and cooked meals. The meals that are supposed to be hot, you just have to heat up. And the meals that are like salads, you just toss the dressing in, mix it in a bowl, and it's done. Everything is prepped for you. So it's not like, I don't know, like the Blue Aprons or the, I don't even know, Go Fresh. There's so many of them now, but it's not like those where they send you the individual ingredients and you make it. And it's not like a grocery shopping service. It is a fully cooked meal by a chef.
That's so interesting, man, because like when you hear about those like meal services, most people get all like, oh, whatever, must be nice to afford that, must be nice, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, dude, imagine if you're like blind and you literally can't, like you can't cook. Like that would be like a lifesaver to be able to do that. Like, because what can you order, right? You could probably order stuff on Uber Eats and get like McDonald's sent to you. But like to be able to get fresh meals delivered to your house every day, like that's awesome. You know, especially like considering someone that might be like not be able to might not be able to cook for themselves. Man, that's very interesting as well.
And they have many different options. I chose the weight loss option because that is ultimately what I was looking to do. And essentially that meant cutting calories. And that's really why I've hesitated to make this video, because cutting calories is quite possibly the most controversial way to lose weight and can be the most triggering for people.
Man, I mean, she's not wrong, but it's just sad that that's true, because cutting calories is also the only way that you can lose weight. Like, you have to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight. Like, that's the only way. And so it's just crazy that she even has to put like an extra trigger warning before she talks about cutting calories, because that's how it works, right? You might not be focused on cutting your calories. You might be like, I'm not focused on cutting my calories. I'm focused on eating better and moving more, which is fine. But I'm telling you, the way that weight is coming off is because you are in a caloric deficit. And it's because you have cut calories. Maybe not consciously. Maybe you haven't said you're cutting calories, but that is how it's happening, right? So, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going.
So that's why I've been concerned to make this, because I know that the fact that I cut calories is going to upset some people, but let me...
Ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's true. It will. Ridiculous.
Just say I was doing it through a professional service, number one. Number two, I have never felt hungry. It actually really helped me curb my appetite. I had such a strong appetite for the last few years, which is never how I was. I talked about this in my last video. Like, I just was eating more than ever before and I couldn't get full, and I don't know what was happening or why that was happening, but that wasn't ever how I was with food. This really helped that. I've never counted calories in my life. I've never looked at calories, because the way I looked at it is, if I'm eating healthy, I don't need to worry about calorie intake. And I think that can be true, but something had to change, and nothing that I had tried was working. And so I was like, you know what? This is a meal delivery service. They will deliver my food every single day. It is foolproof, and if it's not working or I don't like it, I can stop. And that was kind of how I looked at it. So I gave it a try, and I was like, wow, I'm never hungry now. And I was eating less calories, but I was never hungry. And this food was, you know, heavy on protein, heavy on vegetables, very little carbs. I mean, vegetables are carbs technically, but like very little starches. And it was filling and it was tasty and it worked for me. So I can't tell you how many calories I started off intaking, because I've never counted calories prior to this. And even now, I don't look at every single thing I eat and calculate my calories. I'm just more aware than I ever was before. I just never gave calories a thought. Now I'm like, I wonder how many calories that is. So
that's really interesting that she was kind of, that she's kind of saying that. So this is kind of what I've talked about. Like, I've always said that I'm an intuitive eater, because that's how I've eaten for like 4 years now. I don't track anything, right? But I was actually having a conversation with my girlfriend about this, and I was like, you know what? I think maybe saying intuitive eating is the wrong words, because I would say it's more like I'm more mindful. Like, I'm mindful about the foods that I'm putting in my mouth. I'm mindful about how they're going to make me feel. I'm mindful about the calories that are in them. And so maybe it's not intuitive eating. For me, it's more like mindful eating, or Kiki said conscious eating, like being aware of the foods that you're putting in and being aware of the things that are inside of those foods and how many calories are in those like all of that stuff is stuff that I think about. And when like so maybe it's not intuitive eating is how I do things, I don't know, but yes, I would agree.
The average adult woman should intake, from the research I've done, again, I'm not a professional, I'm just telling you what I did and what worked. The average woman should intake 2,000 calories a day. That seems like a lot for me because I'm 4'10.5", which is the average height of the Canadian 11-year-old. So I'm very petite. I am more child-sized, realistically, than adult-sized. But I'm a child that isn't still growing. So I couldn't even just look up, okay, what do, teens eat? Because they're growing still. So I was like, okay, I was trying to figure out like how many calories is healthy for me to be eating. And I found a calorie calculator. And the calorie calculator asked for my age, my height, my activity level, my gender, and it calculated.
Man, dang. Y'all have heard me talk about that before. Come on, what is it? What is she talking about in the chat? Come on, I want to hear someone tell me. That's right. Rachel got it right. The TDEE calculator, baby. Y'all know what's up. Told you. Interesting.
How many calories I should eat a day to maintain weight, to lose weight, or to
you in a high five.
Lose weight fast. It told me that I should be eating to maintain weight 1,500 calories a day, to lose weight 1,200 calories a day, and to lose weight fast 1,000 calories a day. And it said that under no circumstances should I ever eat less than 1,000 calories a day. I felt like that made sense for me. 1,500 calories a day made sense to me. I'm not the average woman. I am not the average height. I am not the average activity level. So that seemed to make sense to me, and that's the kind of rule book I followed. So
yep. I think it's interesting. I mean, again, like I said, like not even 4'11". Like that's like, I don't even know. Like that's right here maybe? Jeez, dude.
What I did with Zen is they have multiple packages. You can get all 3 meals plus 2 snacks, all 3 meals plus a snack and a dessert, just 2 meals, just all 3 meals. You can break it down to whatever you want. I chose to, at the beginning I was doing 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I only did that for the first week because ultimately I don't like breakfast foods. So that just wasn't going to work for me. But
what? But breakfast food is the best. How could you say such a thing? Unbelievable.
At the time, each meal was 300 calories. So that was accounting for 900 of my calories, which meant I still had room to have my snacks, to have my coffee, to have whatever I wanted to fill the rest of those calories. So I really liked that. I then dropped it to just lunch and dinner, which meant they were sending me approximately 600 to 650 calories a day. So I filled the other 400 to 600 calories myself with snacks, with my breakfast that I would make at home. And I basically just researched, what are really healthy low-calorie snack options, what are, healthy low-calorie drink options. So I just did simple things like if I wanted to go out and have a drink, instead of drinking a gin and tonic or a cocktail, which was higher calorie, I would do a vodka soda with lime, which is much lower calorie. So I wasn't like limiting myself from enjoying things. I was just changing the things that I was enjoying.
Yep. I mean, all this stuff is... this is probably what I would say to anyone. This is very interesting.
Instead of eating...
Charles said, "Hey, John, been following you for a long time. I've lost over 100 pounds so far. Gotten a lot of motivation from your videos, so thank you." Well, that's awesome, Charles. Keep up the good work, dude.
Chips, I would eat one of the small bags of Hippie Snacks because it was like a lesser calorie but high protein snack for me. So I can honestly say I never went hungry. And if I was hungry, I ate. But I actually felt weirdly more satisfied. My appetite felt more satisfied cutting my calories than it had ever felt when I was eating whatever I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, I mean, I can hear just Greg Doucette yelling right now, but that's what happens when you switch to high volume, low calorie dense foods. If you're eating a lot of vegetables more than you were before, that stuff helps you feel full, right? If you eat 300 calories worth of broccoli versus 300 calories worth of, a dessert or whatever, those are gonna make you feel completely different ways. And so it's just so important. Like having that stuff in your food is in your diet is so important.
These past few years. And like I said, I never stepped on the scale. I never whipped out a measuring tape. If I had to guess, I would say I've lost between 10 to 15 pounds. But I don't know. And I didn't want to. I just wanted to let it happen naturally. I didn't want to put my mind or my body under pressure to lose a certain amount in a certain time frame. I just wanted to change my lifestyle. And with that, I began going to the gym and just doing 20 to 30 minutes of cardio every single day. And that was it. Those were the only things that I did. And I'm lucky that, you know, when quarantine hit, it meant I wasn't traveling anymore, so I could really stick to this diet more than ever before because
It's funny how there's been like a lot of people that there's like two sides of the spectrum with quarantine. It's like quarantine hit and I gained a bunch of weight, and then also quarantine hit and like it really helped me nail down everything, and I was able to really focus on my nutrition and like make better decisions, and I actually got healthier, you know? And it's funny how it's kind of affected people differently in that.
I wasn't traveling. You know, when I would travel, I obviously couldn't get my Zen meals delivered, so I would have to be a little more cautious ordering on menus. But then quarantine happened, so unfortunately the gym shut down, but at least I was able to truly stick to the diet. And because I was bored and not really doing much, I definitely wasn't that hungry. So yeah, the weight has just naturally come off as I've reduced the amount of calories that I've eaten. I have not gone under, I'd say 1,100 calories a day. That's probably been like the least amount of calories I've eaten a day, which again, given I'm 4'10" and a half and I am not very physically active and I sleep like 10 hours a day, I feel happy and content with that. I feel full, and if I'm hungry, I eat. Molly from the future. There's a few other things I felt like I wanted to go more in depth about or touch on a little bit further. Okay, so I touched on a little.
I'm sorry. It's so crazy how different people can look when they just like do something different with their hair. Like this looks like a different person.
I feel full, and if I'm hungry, I eat. Molly from the future.
It's so crazy. That's wild.
Other things I felt like I wanted to go more in depth about or touch on a little bit further. Okay, so I touched on a little bit of what I was doing for working out, but I wanted to go a little more in depth. So basically, I was doing like very light cardio every day. So for me, what that looked like was on a lazy day, 20 minutes on the treadmill. On a good day, 20 minutes on the treadmill, 15 minutes on an elliptical. I tried to make sure that everything I was doing, food related, workout related, everything that I was doing was going to be sustainable. I didn't want to do.
Yes, dude. Yes, it's my favorite word. This is crazy, man. It's like if I don't know, man. I love it. I mean, everything she said, I haven't disagreed with a single thing she said so far.
Anything super extreme that I was going to like burn out on or get sick of or life was going to get too busy for. I knew that like committing to doing a minimum of 20 minutes of cardio a day was something that I could find 20 minutes anywhere in my day to do because I have a gym in my building. So it literally really does only take like, if I'm doing just 20 minutes, it takes 5 minutes to get ready and then 20 minutes to work out. Like I was like, no matter how busy my day is, I can find the time to do that. So that's kind of a really big tip I have is do things that are going to be sustainable. Like for me, it's sustainable to, you know, eat 1,500 calories on a hungry day and 1,200 on a less hungry day. And that's ultimately what I did the whole time is, by the way, take a shot every time I say ultimately. I feel like I keep saying ultimately right now. Sorry about that. That's probably annoying. But for me,
don't drink, you guys. No drinking allowed.
That is a sustainable way to eat. And all throughout this past couple months of losing weight, I would, on hungry days, let myself eat that 1,500 calories or more. Like, I was never so strict on myself, you know? And also with working out, I would see a personal trainer once a week, or I would do an hour-long workout of weight training. So I did cardio 6 days a week, and then an hour of weight training 1 day a week. And that was my workout routine, and that's what I'm excited to get back to doing. And I will say, the most immediate thing that I noticed upon just changing my lifestyle, just doing that 20 minutes of cardio a day and just changing the amount of calories I was intaking, my energy levels skyrocketed. Like, it was crazy. I've never had so much energy in my life. I went through a phase where I stopped drinking coffee and matcha because I was like, if I drink coffee or matcha, I'm gonna be bouncing off the walls. I have so much natural energy, and it was amazing to feel.
I can't relate to that at all.
like that. So that was like another big change I noticed instantly, pretty much, was within like the first week, my energy levels just totally changed. In talking about making sustainable lifestyle changes versus doing really, really extreme things for weight loss, I also want to talk about the fact that like you don't have to lose 10 pounds in a month. I've lost 10 to 15 pounds in like 3 or 4 months.
Yup. It's not a race, man. It's not a race. It doesn't matter how long it takes.
You know, don't put your body or your mind or yourself under any pressure to lose weight fast, because often losing weight fast can mean you're doing those extreme things, and losing the weight fast, once you stop that extreme diet or workout routine, you know, the weight is going to go back on. And I see so many of these weight loss videos on YouTube being like, how I lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks. And maybe for them, they were able to do it in a healthy way. Maybe for them that was healthy, but I just personally don't think putting yourself under pressure to lose weight fast is the way to do it.
Like if you are putting a time limit on how fast you want to lose the weight, I think that's just not the right way to do it. Like that's not what it should be about. It shouldn't be I want to lose X amount of weight in X amount of time. Like that really isn't the way that it should be done.
It's okay to take 6 months to lose 10 pounds. The important thing is that you're making progress and making healthy lifestyle choices that are bettering your life. Currently, I would say I'm in like the middle of what's healthy for my height. Again, I haven't taken measurements or weighed myself, so I don't know for sure.
Yeah, Carly, I love her hoodie too. I'm kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'd rock that for sure. Like the same exact color, everything. Probably a little bit bigger though. It'd be a little tight on me.
Sure. Just based on the amount I feel I've lost, I would say I'm like bang in the middle of what's healthy. I'm not on the low end, I'm not on the high end, I'm right kind of probably around that middle section, and I'm happy to be there. I'm happy to be in that middle ground. So I'm not actively trying to lose any more weight. I'm currently trying to maintain. And the fact that the gym in my building is beginning to open up again and I will be able to go back to doing cardio every day, I don't know, I might lose a bit more weight, but I'm not actively trying. I'm happy where I'm at. I feel really good. You know, I will say, like, when I gained my weight, the only thing that ever made me feel uncomfortable about my body is other people's opinions and other people's comments. And now I don't know, it's been interesting because LA is opening up and I've been able to start, you know, seeing the odd person in my life again, and they haven't seen me for 3 months, and a lot of them are seeing me and they're like, oh my god, you lost so much weight, you look so great. And I'm trying to just live in this middle ground in my mind where it's like the negative comments really got me down. Like when people would like, when I'd post a bikini photo on Instagram and people would be like, wow, it's so great that she has enough confidence to show off her body like that, and like stuff like that, or like, god, it's nice to see a woman with thick thighs being confident enough.
Yeah, it's like the backhanded compliment like that. Yikes.
It was like, I didn't realize my body was something to be so insecure about. Thank you. So I'm like, I really tried very hard to not let those comments get to me, and I know it was the one thing that would affect me. So I'm trying really hard, like as good as it feels to get these comments of like, oh my gosh, you look so great, you lost weight. It's nice. It is nice to hear like that people recognize that, because I have put effort in, and it does feel like an accomplishment to me that I did lose the weight, and I can't see in the mirror, so I don't get that validation myself of being like, yes girl, you did it, you look great. But
man, be proud. It's crazy. Like you're not even like, it's almost like taboo now to be proud of losing weight. Like you can get, like, people can get genuinely upset with you because you said, I'm so proud of losing weight.
I'm also trying not to let like those comments get too much to my head or like affect my own self-image too much. I'm really working on only letting my own opinions of myself matter, or at least giving those opinions, the opinion of myself, the most weight, and taking on the opinions or the words of others, but not letting it affect me too much, if that makes sense. Anyways, back to Past Molly. Wrap up this video. I hope for some of you this was helpful.
Who is this person? This isn't Molly. Who is this? Who's taking over this channel?
All I can say is if you're on a weight loss journey or you want to start a weight loss journey, make it about your health, not the aesthetics. Make it about how you feel, not how you look. Don't step on the scale every day. Please don't step on the scale every day. Don't measure yourself every day. I really do think those things are toxic and contribute to toxic diet culture. You know, I've seen it affect people in my life and it consumes them. When they step on that scale every day and they go up a pound or down a pound, you guys, it depends on if you've pooped that day, how much you've drank that day, your water weight. For women, it depends on where in the month your cycle is. Like, there's so many things that can contribute to daily fluctuations in weight, which is why it's so important to not look every day, in my opinion. This is just for me and what I feel and think. But that's all. Remember, please love yourself at whatever size you're at, wherever you are in your journey. Love and accept where you're at and make positive changes for your health and to be your best self, whatever that is, whatever it feels like, whatever it looks like for you. I really, really, really don't want this video to make other girls feel, or men, feel that they need to lose weight because they are bigger than me or because they're a different size than me. I am just sharing why I chose to lose weight and how I did it, and that's it. So I hope you found this video interesting and enjoyed it. I've done it now. I don't have to speak about it again.
Awesome. Well, that was an awesome video. That was an awesome, like, 2 little videos, kind of learning a little bit about that. I thought that was really, really fascinating. But yeah, that was really cool. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out today on the live stream. It was quite a fun one. I got a little heated in the earlier part, and then we were able to relax a little bit later. I'll make sure that I get that video up for you guys in a little bit. I'll edit it right now and get it up as soon as possible. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. You guys were awesome. There was a lot of people in here the whole time. All right. Peace out. Love you guys. Have a good day.